Wow. Okay. So, I'm like, did you? Do you want to introduce yourself and tell us about your projects, and your role in them?
Sure.
Okay, cool.
Well, I'm Izzy.
Hi, Izzy.
I guess my project is Izzy Jones. I mostly play by myself, but occasionally I'll have a band with me, and I call them my produce section because I have a song that references the grocery store. But anyways, I've been playing music in Bellingham and like around the West Coast since 2018. Getting ready to record a new project. That's exciting. Crazy.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
And that's going to be based out of
LA,
right.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. Have you always been a writer? When do you remember getting into songwriting? Like, what was your relationship with songwriting when you were younger?
So it's funny, my mom recently has been, like, going through an old MacBook that my parents had when we were children, and going through, like, the photo booth videos, and it's, like, half videos of, like, me and my brother, like, beating up on each other, and half videos of me, like, singing songs about love that I made up. And I was like, okay, so this does go back way further than I thought. But I started writing, like, when I started high school.
Okay.
There's an artist in Bellingham named Tabor Darland, who used to do, like, songwriting lessons. So I'd go once a week, and, like, we would workshop songs and stuff. And then once I started to feel confident with it, I was like, I'm gonna branch out and do this myself. But definitely, like, they gave me the confidence to, like, really get into it and trust myself. So wouldn't be here without them.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you have a process? Do you feel like you have when you're working on a song, is there a formula that you kind of tend to follow for yourself? Do things come about each other the same way, or is each song pretty different?
That's a good question. I feel like every song is pretty different, but, like, it's, like, same but different, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like usually words come to me before melody does, but every once in a while, like, I'll get something stuck in my head and I'm like, okay, I need to figure this out. But usually, like, I don't know, a line will stick out at me, or, like, someone will say something and I'm like, I should write this down.
Yeah.
And then it'll kind of snowball from there. But I always say, like, I feel like songs, like, songwriters kind of already, like, have songs in them, like, you know, whatever higher powers exist, like, we all have songs in our bones, and then, like, something happens in our lives and it kind of, like, jostles us a little bit and the songs come out.
Yeah.
Because there are songs sometimes where you'll, like, get halfway and you're like, I feel like this isn't quite there, but I don't feel like I have the rest of it yet. And then you, like, get bumped into and you're like, okay, there's the rest of it. So it's kind of fun to, like, because I hear people say sometimes that they're, like, a vessel and, like, you know, like, songs come to them from somewhere else, and I just feel like they're all, like, in us to begin with. I don't know, like...
That's so cool. Okay, I have, like, so many follow-up questions now. So, do you feel like you... I guess my first question is kind of, too, do you feel like you sit on stuff for a while? Does it marinate before, like, a line or something like that, before it starts to turn into something else? Or does it kind of start, like... Do you catch something and you're like, oh, I'll save that for later?
It definitely depends. Sometimes, like, okay, I'll just write everything in my notes app or, like, in a notebook or something, and then I'll have, like, notes that just have, like, singular lines, and sometimes I'll have an idea for something and then I'll go back to those, or usually there will just be, like, a line that, like, hits me so hard I'm like, okay, I need to see where this goes. But I feel like usually it's, like, you're kind of like, I feel like there's something in, like, my brain or on the tip of my tongue or something, and I need to find it, and then you go back to the notes and you're like, okay, this, that, and the other.
Totally. Do you find that most of your songs are, like, finished in these kind of different chunks, or, like, do you write things in one sitting? Are you, like, do you take your time? Like, how do you know when a song is done?
Yeah, no, honestly,
you know?
I feel like it's one of those things that's like, is a song ever done?
Right.
I read a book my freshman year of college called Long Division, and it's cool because the author published it in, like, 2016, And then he published another version of the book in, like, 2020. And I just love the, like, revision process being out in the open. Like, the readers are kind of the editors in a way. And I feel the same way about, like, songwriting, too. Of, like, you play something live or, like, you sit with it for a while. And it'll always kind of change. Totally. And I feel like it's kind of, in that sense, it's, like, never really done. Like, the grand scheme of things is done, but, like, the nitty-gritty details will always change a little bit.
Yes, totally. You know? Yeah, and, like, why have a completely finished version? Like, you have the recorded version or whatever.
Yeah.
But, yeah, like, why call it
exactly
done?
You know, totally.
It can always be a little bit, different. Where do you find yourself catching inspiration? Like, when you catch those lines and stuff, is it like you're in a coffee shop and you overhear, or is it like you think something?
It's all kinds of things. Yeah. Like, I was at a house show in Denver once, and I heard this guy, like, flirting with this girl, and he was like, yeah, the human impetus is da-da-da-da-da, and I only caught the human impetus. Whoa. And I was like, this is just absolutely absurd. Like, this man is insufferable, but I was like, I need to find a way to work this into a song. Awesome. So, like, definitely overhearing things. Yeah. Sometimes just in conversation. Every once in a while, someone will, like, text me something, or, like, yeah, I don't know. Sometimes this makes it sound like I'm just, like, stealing lines from people, but you know, like, part of it. Inspiration comes from everywhere.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Do you sit down to write about, like, even when you catch a line or whatever, when you're going to play music, are you like, okay, I kind of know how I'm feeling, what I'm going to write about? Or are you like, I write it and then later I figure out what it's about?
Yeah, it's usually like that. Yeah. Like, I'll just, like, make a note of it. Like, I always have stuff written on my hands, too. Sometimes I won't have paper, and I'm like, okay, I need to remember this.
That's cool.
Yeah. So, but then, yeah, I don't usually get to it right away. Sometimes, though, I will. Sometimes, like, wait, this is too good.
Yeah.
Need to figure this out.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite time of day that you like to write?
Oh.
Or that you have, like, written your favorite
I love songs? This. This is such a great question. Oh, my God. I feel like afternoon, like, dusk time, you know?
Love that.
Yeah. Like, when, not, like, exactly sunset, but, like, kind of more, like, later in the day.
Yeah.
Because for a while it was like when all of my roommates were out, and I could, like, be in the living room and play songs, because it's fine to play in my room and stuff, but I like to, like, be out in the open.
It's nice to have a change of scenery,
yeah,
too. I feel like being in your room is such a, like...
Yeah, you're like, I'm feeling a little claustrophobic.
Everything is. Yes, totally, yeah.
So it was kind of nice to do that. And also just, like, cool. I don't know, something about Bellingham at that time of day, it, like, always sticks with me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like that's when, like, my brain has kind of processed everything and can, like, sort through it all.
Yeah, that's so true about Bellingham, too, because in the summer, that's the, like, hottest time of the day. And in the winter, you're like, it's 5
like,
and it feels like midnight.
Literally.
What's happening?
And it gives you so much to work with in that sense with Bellingham, because you're like, with all of the seasons, it's such a different time.
Totally. Has your songwriting, you've been writing songs for a really long time, it sounds like. Has your songwriting process changed a lot over the years?
I definitely think so. Like, for, like, I started out writing very, like the first... Not to, like, you know, totally put a damper on this, but, like, the first song I ever wrote was about my dad dying. Oh. And then I went from there to kind of more like, the world around me. Yeah. And then I kind of, during the pandemic, I started writing with my sister who writes poetry. And then it was kind of coming from, like, more of a fictional place, because, you know, we're, like, trapped in our house. We're thinking, like, what are things we would want to be doing right now, you know?
Totally, like getting to dream.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So it kind of came from a place of, like, I'm not exactly experiencing this, and I haven't experienced it, but, like, maybe I will at some point. Yeah. And then since then, it's kind of completely pivoted, and now I feel like I write a lot from, like, what I'm feeling and, like, what I'm sitting with now, and I feel like I have more fun playing those songs.
Like the present emotion instead of the, like, processing the whatever it is, like, whether it's grief or whether it's grief about, like, a vast variety of things.
Anything in life.
Yes, including, like, I miss being out in the world, and, like, what could I be doing if I were, like, that was hard, and so that's cool. That's a good I like that a lot. When you think about your favorite songs you've written, is there a through line at all with how they've come about? Has it been, like, that present emotion? Has it been, like, you caught a line out in the wild and that sparked the...
Yeah.
Or not at all, you know?
It's kind of been both. Like, it's been a good balance. I feel like a lot of times, though, it's like something strikes me. Like, there's one song that I wrote when I was moving into my apartment in California, and I was, like, trying to figure out where all the furniture was going to go because my bed was so huge. And I was like, why is my bed an island in this room? And then it kind of came about from there. Like, everything else I was feeling and stuff, I was able to go with this, like, I'm hiding in a cave on an island. That's my room. Like,
that's cool. Yeah. I like that. That's awesome.
So I feel like that it's definitely that, like, just getting into how I'm feeling. And it's fun too because I feel like those are the songs other people usually like the most. So they're like, whoa. Yeah, so it's fun.
Stuff people can relate to.
Totally.
How do you decide what songs go to a project like this, you know, project that you're working on? Well, or your project that you put out was that last year?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, in like October,
Yeah.
So
good.
Thank you. The first project I put out in 2022, that I was like, these are the songs that we wrote together, me and my sister, and a few extras.
Cool.
And I just want to throw them all out there. And then the last thing I released, I was just like, these are all songs that bare bones I feel like can be presented to the world, and like I feel comfortable with that. Like it was a good practice in like vulnerability too, of just being like, this is this song in its rawest form.
Because they're all just
they're just demos. Like, and then with the project I'm working on right now, I've been going about it a different way than I ever have, and I've really been enjoying it because I am like working with a producer on like pre-producing it, which I didn't do with the last project that I recorded in a studio. So I sent him like 15 demos, and then we picked 4 of them together, and it was kind of cool because it was like songs that I really enjoy, but also songs that he like really has a vision for and like has already kind of built out a little bit. And so like it's fun to kind of like trust someone in that way, but also to like have someone trust your art and like believe in it. That's been really big. Like, dude, very exciting.
That is so awesome. Yeah, that's amazing. I'm really, really excited to hear those songs.
I'm excited for you to hear them too.
And it's cool to get to collaborate with somebody like that, and cool to have somebody be excited about working on your stuff too.
No,
like,
totally. Like
that's awesome.
I really feel like very fortunate. I keep being like, I don't know how I ended up here.
Oh my gosh, because like you're amazing. You're too sweet. I love your music. It's amazing. Do you find writing to be easy, fun, stressful, exciting? What's your relationship? Is it something that's like you're like, I have to do it? Like, what is your...
There are times where like I'll be like, I need to write about this, or like I need to make a song out of this, and that's sometimes where like it feels like pulling teeth, you know? And I try to not let myself get in that space. Like there are occasions, like there's one song that's going on the new record that like I had written a minute of, and I like sent it to him, and I was like, I can add to this if this is one that you'd be interested in, and he really liked it. So I was like, I'll just see what else is in here, and it ended up coming to me. But in the past with other songs like that, I will usually just be like, I can't figure this out for the life of me. So I prefer when it feels organic. Like there are definitely times where you just can't avoid it feeling a little bit strenuous, but it always feels more satisfying when you're like, this just like kind of flowed out of me.
Totally agree. So now we can pivot to the song. I asked you to bring a song today. And I'm curious what song, what it's called. If it has a name.
It's called, I call it Admitting. Yeah, that's like had many names.
Tell me about that. That's interesting.
Well, for a while it was called Magnet, and then I was like, that feels a little too obvious. And then one of my dear friends and I compiled like a book. We made like a little zine where we wrote all of the lyrics and chords to songs that we've like written together, and songs that we've each written, and songs that our other friends have written. And when we were discussing what to call this one, we landed on Admitting, because it is pretty like confessional. So it was kind of cool. I don't know, it feels fitting for it.
I like that. That's great. What do you remember about the beginnings of writing this song?
It's kind of what I talked about earlier with the I was moving my furniture around okay, so like I lived in New Mexico last summer, and I was really alone in a way that I haven't been in my entire adult life. So I was like fresh out of a codependent relationship, and I was supposed to live with my best friend, and then he like left me in the night, which is so okay. It was like really for the best, because I needed to be alone and he needed to go home to Pennsylvania and like figure out what was going on with his life. But it really was like crazy whirlwind summer. Met some great people. Kind of realized that like I have a really interesting relationship with substances, and was like kind of coming to terms with that. And then I moved back to California for school, and I was like just in like chaos clusterfuck mode. And yeah, it was like, it just felt like what I was just describing of like a pouring out of me. I was like, okay, this is everything that's going on right now and how I'm feeling. Like, yeah.
And like you said, that I feel like feels the most cathartic. Like that feels like sometimes you write something and it helps you process it later, and sometimes you're processing it as you're writing it.
Yes.
And yeah, that is, I think, a very cathartic experience.
No, totally.
What are you proud of in this song?
I feel like this song and like a couple others that I wrote before it, but this one especially kind of really felt like that pivot to like writing about my experience and like what I'm feeling, and like really being real and being vulnerable. So I feel like that's what I'm most proud of. And also just like, I feel like sonically I've gotten a little more comfortable with like, I don't know, being a little bit funkier, just in like chord progressions and stuff. Like for a while I was very like cowboy chords oriented, which is awesome and they're the best, but it was kind of fun to be able to like play with some different chords and stuff. Yeah,
a different style. That's awesome. Have you brought this song to, like, would you say, does playing this song feel like you've brought it to a group of people, or like do you ever play this song with other people?
I actually played it with a band for the first time in April, which was really fun.
How did that change?
It was wild because I was like, it was one of the first songs where I was like, I can hear other instruments with this and like what I want people to do, and I play with them. So it was fun for that reason, to just kind of like arrange and stuff, and like, I don't like to boss people around, but just to be like, come in at this part and like do this. So it was cool. And playing it for groups of people has been fun too. One time a guy was like, it's like that one Coldplay song, Sparks. And I was like, well, yes, the chords are similar, but like, it just kind of cracked me up. I was like, I love that was your association.
Right.
Like, fierce.
Okay, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, no, exactly. But
Coldplay's awesome.
Coldplay is awesome. Shout out Chris Martin.
Great. Yeah.
Think my life is slipping. Tried so hard, but it's giving in again. My bed is an island. My room is a cave I try to hide in on a green vacation. Since sophomore sun had me at my generation, jar that my brains in, sits next to closed off emotions, floated down the pathway of predicament that was floating. I think I actually broke both of my legs. Still, I've never felt so selfish. Now all I want's affection.